Hey, this is Jordan M. Fishman, head coach and co-founder of Without Bounds Coaching, where we always heal, uplift, and empower you to be seen, heard, and felt by this world. So come along with me, my fellow forever students and soul travelers. It's time to learn what your parents didn't teach you. Thank you so much for coming back. It's amazing to have you here. I am so stoked. We are in day 17 of As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And this text, as I have expounded upon in multiple days, if you haven't watched them, by the way, what the hell are you doing? Go back. Days 1 through 16 are up on YouTube. Some of them are here on IGTV. Some of them, or all of them, are here on YouTube, depending on where you are. But go back, watch the powerful lessons that are in there, because this book has so much wisdom. Go grab your own copy if you need to. But we're going to continue here in day 17, which I'm so excited for. We're taking that spiritual level up to a whole other place, infusing it more into our physical lives, infusing it more into our emotional, mental lives. So come along with me, baby. Let's get started. 17th morning. There is no strife, no selfishness in the kingdom. There is perfect harmony, equipoise, and rest. Those who live in the kingdom of love have all their needs supplied by the law of love. As self is the root cause of all strife and suffering, so love is the root cause of all peace and bliss. Those who are at rest in the kingdom do not look for happiness in any outward possessions. They are freed from all anxiety and trouble, and resting in love, they are the embodiment of happiness. Wow. Okay. So, what do you think this is? What do you take from this? You know, I'm super curious, because for me, when I was first reading this, I was so kind of thrown by this. It was like, wait a minute, what are we talking about? What kingdom are we talking about? You know, if you've studied Christianity like I have, if you've embedded yourself in different types of religions, you come to realize that there is this pattern to all sacred texts, to all paths of divine righteous doing, let's say. You know, paths of divinity, paths of sacredness, holiness, you know, choosing to walk a better path. And the kingdom it's inside of you. The kingdom is something that is here in your heart. But as we've learned in other lessons, your heart doesn't just stay within you. No, it releases electromagnetic waves. Your thoughts are forces sent out. And the kingdom doesn't just stay inside of you. The kingdom is what you create as a kind of enveloping space around you. The kingdom goes with you wherever you go. It becomes part of those who interact with you. It becomes part of the home that you keep. Becomes part of the travels that you make and take. So it's saying, if you're in the kingdom, you're living and supplied by the law of love. So we've talked about maintaining that state, that elevated, remember the gamma waves of our brain, not the alpha, beta, delta, or theta, but the gamma waves of love. Practicing and lifting the weight of love. By embodying that love, you cast out your suffering. You cast out strife and selfishness. So our minds, you know, we've got, you know, if we could hold a lumpy brain here, and in this lumpy brain, you know, we've got let's see, this is my right side, so for you, I don't know, I guess it would still be your right, so your left side maybe. You've got the left hemisphere, and you've got the right hemisphere, or vice versa, whatever it is. But in the left hemisphere of the brain, your brain and the frontal cortex is telling a story. It's this default mode network that's spinning and looping thoughts. But it's connecting those thoughts to different people, to different things, to different places, timelines, and realities. While the right side of your brain is more, you know, it's called the emotional brain. It's called, you know, the less logical brain. But the beauty of the right hemisphere is that it needs you need to return to that part of the brain that just sees things as they are. Because on the left hemisphere, it's telling a story as what you perceive it to be. But the right side is seeing it as it is, unfiltered, without all the perceptions coloring it. So what he's saying here is that if you can return to that place of love, the emotional brain, return to that place where you see things as they are, then you won't be living in your story. You won't be living with, as it says here, as self is the root cause of strife, meaning as reinforcing that ego story, reinforcing that thing that makes you feel separate from the entirety of existence, makes you feel separate from your tribe, makes you feel separate from yourself. Well, I know we're kind of using the same word here, but it's telling you that the story that you've created around your whole life is what's causing you to suffer. Feeling separate from all that is causing you to feel that suffering. But returning to love, returning to seeing things as they are, creates a space for peace, creates a space for bliss. So it's also saying those who are in the kingdom, who rest there, they're not looking for happiness in anything outside themselves. So this is a powerful message here, one that, speaks to the heart of our, say, diseases of decadence, our diseases of the soul of our Western world, and our constant need for economic growth, infinite growth, and that infinite kind of growth mentality that is embedded in our American way of life, in a lot of the Western way of life. Now, I love being American, USA baby, all the way. But at the end of the day, I recognize wholeheartedly that this paradigm of infinite growth doesn't really map on to the reality that is. It is a story of self, an ego story of tribe that we are perpetuating that doesn't really map on to how things are. So let's be honest, there isn't an infinite supply of water to drink. There isn't an infinite amount of food to eat. There isn't an infinite amount of money to go around. So we need to allocate these resources effectively, capturing the wealth where we can, making sure that water is used effectively and retained and recycled by the earth and the crops that we have and all that stuff. I'm not an expert in all those things, but I've done a little dabbling. So what I'm recommending here, and what James Allen is really expanding upon here and is building on that foundation that we started back in day one, is that if you're going to create a life of happiness, blessedness, and excited abundance, it means not to be chasing carrots on a stick all the time. That's what we call the hedonic wheel, hedonic adaptation. It's I grab the cigarette, I smoke it, I feel better for like an instant, and then bam, I level off. I eat a little bit of chocolate, or I eat some sweets, or I eat a bunch of potato chips, a bunch of garbage, and boom, my state is up, and then crash. I drink some coffee, I get up, and I go down. That's the hedonic wheel. But if you scale this up to someone like, entrepreneurial types, the Grant Cardone types, it's, I just gotta keep getting money, I gotta keep getting assets, I gotta keep going and going because, well, I just got that thing and it felt so good and I got so high, but now it's down, and what am I gonna do? Well, I gotta keep chasing stuff, I gotta go get the next house, I gotta go get the next 1,000 properties. It's like, that's that hedonic wheel. It's never gonna stop because you have this sense of it's never good enough. And what he's telling you here is that love is good enough. That if you find your way back to seeing things as they are, without the color coding of your perceptions, letting them calm out, letting them calm down, that is something I recommend meditation for. And we've talked about this. I recommend, again, if you need any help with meditation, I have a perfect app for you. Not affiliated with them, I just love using it every day, so I'm happy to share it. But I'm also happy to share any meditative practices and techniques and tools that I use, that I practice. And if you ever need any coaching tips on how to meditate, I'm here to help. Or forget how to meditate, how to become a meditator. There is a difference. So he's saying here, if you can find your way to love, if you can find your way back to this restful place inside of yourself, that you won't be dealing with the anxieties and troubles of chasing stuff, of chasing people and things, that you'll be content inside of your own being. And let me tell you something. It doesn't mean that you don't want those things. It doesn't mean that your desires disappear entirely. It just means that you have perspective. It means you understand that getting those things are only going to temporarily cause you to go up and then bring you back to the place that you are. So better to show up to the day at a place where you're already at that high point, already filled with love and at peace, knowing that whatever is going to come to you comes to you with mathematical exactitude, comes to you as it is, as it's supposed to be in perfectly divine timing. That's the message it contained in there. And it's powerful, it's beautiful. If you have any questions, you let me or head coach Jimmy know. We are here to serve. Let's move on. 17th evening. Let it not be supposed that the children of the kingdom again, live in ease and indolence. These two sins are the first that have to be eradicated when the search for the kingdom is entered upon. They live in a peaceful activity. In fact, they only truly live for the life of self, with its train of worries, griefs, and fears, is not real life. The children of the kingdom are known by their life. They manifest the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, temperance, self-control, under all circumstances and vicissitudes. Oh boy, let me just say that this is one of my favorite passages. Why is that, Jordan? Why is this one of your favorite passages? Well, first of all, it builds so much upon the last one. So the last one's telling you, live in love. Find that place where you see things as they are. Let go yourself, your ego, your storytelling, tribal nature. Please forgive me. They're doing construction or some work at the church that's over down the way, and the car beeping back and forth is just so loud. I'm sorry. But anyway, it's saying, let it not be thought or assumed that those who are on a spiritual path, like you, forever student, like me, soul traveler, we who are on this path to deeper learning, deeper insights, deeper knowing, we're not living a life of just ease and indolence, meaning laziness. He's saying making your life just simply easy and being lazy are the two things that when you enter the spiritual path, you're getting rid of those things. You're stopping living a lazy, easy life. No, you're choosing not to complicate your life, but you're choosing harder things. Easy versus hard. You're choosing the hard things in life, like Emerson says, that are worth doing. Emerson also says, those who do the thing have the power, and those who do not the thing have not the power. So by doing the thing, by entering into the kingdom, you are entering a peaceful activity. So he's saying, in fact, those who truly live because if you're truly living, if you've entered the kingdom, if you're on the path, you're giving up yourself. You're sacrificing your animal thoughts. You're sacrificing your tribal behaviors. You're sacrificing your worries, your griefs and fears. And what he's saying is that's not the real life. Remember, we talk in a previous passage, I forget which one it is, about living in joy, about the life of joy and the light itself being the true life. That darkness and sorrows are things that pass away because they're impermanent. But the true permanence of life is the thing that connects us all, is the universe itself, is change itself. And that if you can tap into that space of seeing things as they are, seeing things for their impermanent nature, that you'll tap in and realize, I have nothing to worry about or grieve over or fear, because I'm part of the great connection and continuity of life itself. You are a small spark of the divine, living a powerful human life. So by giving up a life of ease and indolence, you become known for the manifest fruits that spark, that you practice, that you live in. So he talks about these fruits of joy, the fruits of spirit rather, that all children of the kingdom, that you and me on spiritual paths enter. So what are these fruits? Let's go over them. Well, he talks about love. I mean, we've talked about love at length, creating that space of love, that space of compassion. He talks about joy, being happy. You know, when I meditate, a lot of the times there's a little smirk on my face, there's that half smile, because I've learned that by practicing smiling, I have access to happiness. And not only joy, but peace. And what is peace but not being moved by things, not being moved to feel pleasure or pain, not saying things are good or bad, but having that space in between, that middle ground where you don't tell yourself a story, you don't label the moment, you just see it as it is. And then long suffering. Now, suffering itself, you know, they say what? You know, suffering is a choice, pain is inevitable. What he means long suffering, he means you are that uncarved block. Imagine you have a seed, you are the seed, and that seed has to sprout. And what do you think? You know, when it sprouts, it has to grow, the shoot shoots up through the soil, and that's gotta be kind of a painful process, the process of growth. We call them growing pains for a reason, maybe. So long suffering is, you know, if you can imagine yourself 80, 90 years out from today, it's like, what is the life that you have to live to get to that place where you've lived a life well lived? That's long suffering. Then kindness, you know, treating others with compassion, treating others as though they're, you know, a beautiful pet that you take care of, or a beautiful child that you take care of, treating yourself as if you are that child. Goodness, meaning leaning into the opposite of evil, leaning into the opposite of divisiveness, of, you know, kind of detaching from our global news mainstream media, because all that does is promote evilness. And, you know, sorry, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but all it's doing is promoting the other things, you know, quick joys, the opposite of kindness, the opposite of goodness, the opposite of peace. Then one of the next joys, one of the next fruits of the Spirit, we have faithfulness. Faithfulness. So this is a big one. And what is faithfulness? So he's talked before about living in that peaceful activity, about abiding the things that are going to keep your life simple, and having an understanding, a knowing deep in your heart that whatever's going to come to you will come to you. Like this week, so many amazing things lined up for me. So many amazing things lined up for me with my family, things lined up, you know, my brother's birthday's tomorrow on the 18th, and things are lining up for him, and money is coming in, joy is coming in, where our health is getting better, our family is getting stronger. And I just, you know, in the beginning of COVID, it was like, I just knew that, like, I wasn't gonna die. I knew I had to hold out. I knew that I'm gonna keep holding out, and I knew things would get better for all of us. My parents, they signed a deal on a house. They're buying a house. I'm so happy for them. That's faithfulness. It's just holding out, knowing that what's gonna come is gonna come. And if it doesn't come, that's a test from the Lord to say to you, do you want it badly enough, or maybe you wanted it too much and it was trying to show you to let go? That's faith as well. And then there's meekness. Now, a lot of people hear the word meek and they think weak, you know, because they rhyme. But what does meekness really mean? And this is something that I learned from Jordan Peterson during his biblical lectures. I totally recommend. I'll try it if I can remember. I'll leave a link below for the playlist of his biblical lectures. Show some love to him, because they are amazing. So he talks about meekness being a sword that is in its sheath, meaning you have the power to wield, to hurt and to harm, but you withhold it. You keep it held back. You keep the power held within, to hurt, to harm. Like, you know that you can do damage, but you hold that power within. So if those of you have seen my tattoo over here in previous videos with my shirt off, this symbol here means those who have the power to save or destroy the world. And obviously, I'm doing what I can to save as much of myself and as much as you beings as possible. And that's what meekness is. Meekness is having the power to destroy but withholding it. It's a powerful, powerful fruit of the Spirit. Then there's temperance. Temperance is, we had the temperance movement in America, so we're doing away with drugs. And temperance also is the tarot card. It kind of reminds me of patience. So it's being patient with yourself, knowing that urges to smoke, to drink, to booze, to drug, to have sex, all those things come, to eat, all those things come, but they're like the wind. See how the wind is kind of passing through the trees? The tree doesn't hold on to the wind, and you don't have to hold on to that urge. The urge will come, and it will go. And then in the last one, obviously, it speaks directly to temperance. It's self-control. And we've talked in the past, in past days, about the life of self-control, about not repressing yourself, but expressing the divine gifts that you've been given. Not all of us are tall and could play basketball or be good wrestlers. Not all of us are great piano players or are willing to put in the time to develop skills. But we all have our aptitudes. We all have those things that we were given gifts by God. I was given a gift of my powerful hands to heal, my powerful words to uplift, and my powerful coaching, my powerful presence to empower others. That's where hue comes from. I love adding color to the world because that's the gifts that God has given me, that God has given Jimmy. And you have to find your own purpose, find your own mission. And if you're having trouble doing that, we can totally help you. Just shoot us a message. It's something that we're so passionate about. We love unlocking the hidden jewels and secrets within our clients and within you. And that's why we're sharing this stuff. Under all circumstances, meaning no matter what, and all vicissitude, meaning all likenesses of events, you can carry these fruits and goodnesses within you. I believe in you, I have faith in you, and I trust you to know what is best for you by showing up for yourself, by making life better, and by choosing what makes you stronger, what heals, uplifts, and empowers you, baby. Thank you so much for joining me on day 17. I'll see you over in day 18. Much love to you, and be well. You soul traveler. Thank you so much for watching today's video, for sticking around. It means the world to be able to share this amazing personal transformation and coaching content with you. So if you can, please subscribe here on Instagram at Without Bounds Now, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Without Bounds Coaching. Make sure you save this video, share it if you find anything powerful in it, and make sure you comment and let us know what you think, because we're here to help and engage with you. We love you so much. We're here. Stick around. Make sure you stick around, because we're going to be sharing some amazing personal development, coaching, and business development content to come. We're super grateful. And from me and head coach Jimmy, we love you. Thank you so much, and be well.